The rustle of autumn leaves was the only sound as Sausage, a sleek black dachshund with a heart as brave as a lion's, trotted into the whispering woods. His short legs moved with purpose, carrying him deeper into the familiar embrace of the forest he called his second home. But today, the air felt different, heavy with a sorrow that didn't belong among the towering oaks and ancient pines. He followed a mournful sound, a sad, high-pitched chirping that led him to a clearing. There, a flock of small, colorful birds huddled on the ground, their songs filled with despair as they fluttered over the stumps of recently felled trees. Their nests, once safely cradled in high branches, now lay shattered on the forest floor. A wave of protective determination washed over Sausage as he surveyed the destruction. His keen nose twitched, catching the acrid scent of sawdust and machine oil. Guided by the grating roar of a chainsaw that ripped through the forest's tranquility, Sausage crept forward. Peeking through a thicket of ferns, he saw them 2 men, their faces grim and determined, illegally hacking away at the base of a magnificent, centuries-old tree. It was the heart of this part of the forest, a home to countless creatures. A low growl rumbled in Sausage's chest, building into a series of sharp, commanding barks. As his voice echoed through the clearing, the simple gold collar around his neck began to thrum with an ancient energy, glowing with a brilliant, warm light that pulsed in time with his furious barking. The loggers stopped their work, startled by the unexpected commotion. They turned to see the small dog, but their amusement quickly turned to shock as the light from his collar intensified, casting long, dancing shadows. In that moment, the very ground beneath their feet seemed to awaken. Thick, gnarled roots, alive with the forest's magic, erupted from the soil. They twisted and coiled like powerful serpents, snaking around the loggers' heavy boots and anchoring them to the spot. Simultaneously, strong, supple vines shot out from the surrounding trees, wrapping tightly around the chainsaw and axes, disarming the men with a swift, decisive grip. Frozen with fear and disbelief, the 2 loggers struggled for a moment against their magical restraints before abandoning the fight. With cries of alarm, they wriggled out of their boots, leaving them and all their equipment behind as they fled the clearing in a blind panic. They disappeared into the woods, their frightened shouts fading into the distance. The magical roots and vines receded back into the earth as quickly as they had appeared. A joyful chorus of chirps erupted from above as the birds, now safe, swooped down from the branches. They flew in happy circles around their small, four-legged guardian, their cheerful songs a thank you to the brave little dachshund who had saved their home. Within the heart of the Whispering Woods, a tale of courage and kindness unfolds, starring Sausage, a small black dachshund with a heart as golden as the magical collar he wore. The forest floor, once scarred by the loggers' heavy boots and sharp axes, was now healing. Magical vines, summoned by the power of Sausage's collar, had sent the 2 burly men fleeing in terror. Now, the vines gracefully receded back into the earth, their duty done. A flock of small, colorful birds, who had watched the confrontation from the safety of the high branches, now swooped down in a joyful whirlwind of chirps and fluttering wings. They circled their tiny hero, their songs a chorus of victory and gratitude, celebrating the peace he had restored to their home. The sunlight dappled through the leaves, illuminating the triumphant scene. But amidst the celebration, Sausage's sharp ears picked up a new sound. It was a soft, faint cry, carried on the gentle breeze, filled with distress. His celebratory tail wagged slow, his head tilting with concern, leaving the cheerful birds behind. He followed the fleeting sound, his little legs trotting purposefully through the undergrowth. The cries grew a little stronger as he neared the glistening river that snaked through the forest, a sound of pure, helpless fear that tugged at his brave heart. There, by the riverbank, he found the source of the cry. A baby deer, a delicate fawn with wide, terrified eyes and a coat of soft spots, was struggling in the cool water. It had slipped from the muddy bank and was too small and frightened decided to find its way back. Without a moment's hesitation, Sausage waded into the shallows. The water was cold, but his resolve was warm. He approached the stranded fawn cautiously, making soft, reassuring sounds. Gently, he nudged the little creature with his nose, guiding it towards a less steep part of the bank until it could scramble safely onto solid ground. The rescued fawn stood shivering on the shore, more from shock than cold. Sausage stayed close, pressing his warm body against the little deer, offering comfort and reassurance. The flock of birds, having followed their friend, landed in the nearby trees. They watched over the tender scene, their silent presence a gentle guard for the forest's smallest hero and his newest, most vulnerable friend. The woods were safe once more, not just from axes and saws, but through the quiet strength of a compassionate heart. In a sun-dappled forest, a little black dachshund named Sausage chased butterflies with joyful barks. His world was a peaceful symphony of rustling leaves and birdsong, a perfect day for a happy pup. Suddenly, a terrifying roar shattered the calm. Giant yellow machines appeared, their sharp blades tearing into the ancient trees. Frightened animals scattered as illegal loggers began to destroy their home. But Sausage was no ordinary dog. His magical gold collar began to glow with a warm, brave light. He called to his friends, Barnaby the bear and Squeaky the squirrel. Together, they huddled and devised a clever plan to save their beloved forest. With Squeaky leading the charge, the trio launched their operation. They created a series of hilarious traps, causing the loggers to slip, slide, and stumble in comical chaos. Defeated and confused, the loggers scrambled away, leaving the forest in peace once more. With his mission complete, Sausage's collar pulled with a final, bright flash. He soared into the sky, a tiny hero flying triumphantly over the now safe treetops, heading for home.